HX Magazine has called our next performer, our first performer of the evening, an out brother from another planet. He is the first out African-American personality on satellite radio, and he's a hysterical, funny man. Will you please welcome Keith Price?
All right, because I'll sing the song. Okay? Because shit, every opportunity is an audition. Come on, babe, why don't we paint the town? And all that jazz, I'm gonna rouge my knees, roll my stockings down, pop the hip, here we go. And all that jazz, start the car, I know a whoopee spot where the gin is cold, but the piano is hot. It's just a noisy hall where there's a nightly brawl, and all that jazz. Thank you very much. Because you know what? If Chrissy Brinkley's got an opportunity, what the fuck? Why can't I be Velma, right? How y'all doing?
Good.
Oh my God, it's so good to be here. I love this place. You know, this used to be the Gotham Comedy Club, the first incarnation. And then, for me, this was like the very first place that I ever did comedy in New York City as a comedian. Very nice. And then, of course, my first job that I used to have, I actually worked in a strip club that was on the other block between 6th and 7th on 22nd Street called the Harmony Theater. It was a very nice place. Like, we had a very nice, wonderful range of women that worked there. It was kind of like, you know, from, you know, Cindy Crawford to Joan Crawford. That kind of, you know, a lot of stuff in between. You know, because men love that kind of stuff. So anyway, no, I don't know why I brought that up. I just felt very nostalgic. I used to always come here, too, because this is the mirror you have to check yourself out in over the inside. Like, because, you know, so, yeah, I've lost 55 pounds. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I was having my own personal moment, and I forgot I needed to share that, because they look kind of ridiculous just standing there posing. No, but it's been great. I have a new relationship with steamed vegetables and brown rice now. Fabulous. That fucking shit sucks, man. Who came up with that? That's the only way that you can eat to lose weight when you've been a big fatty all your life. It's kind of nice. Anyway, but no, I don't know why I brought that up either, but again, because I'm looking at myself going, who the hell is that guy? Kind of cute. Anyway. I mean, if I didn't already have a boyfriend, I would totally go out with me. But that's the whole story. Although my boyfriend will agree that I kind of act like I go out with just me. So that's another story as well. See, he's shaking his head. Mm-hmm, yeah. Well, the dating thing, that's like, it's kind of weird because I was single for a long, long period of time, and then I finally got a boyfriend. And this is like probably the first time that I've actually officially talked about him on stage. I'm gonna be in so much trouble. Anyway, but let's just put it this way. What I have come to understand about myself in the relationship is that I am selfish, and I do love me, and I have to change that because if not, I'm not gonna have a boyfriend. Is that correct? Is that how that works? Yeah. See, you were right. Anyway, I don't want to validate him too much because then he's really impossible to be with, but I do enjoy him. Thank you. Someone in the same place? Yes. It's like, move away from the boyfriend material. Get away from the boyfriend. No. It's been great though. It's like my life has had this really kind of crazy journey. I'm originally from Texas. Any Texans in the house? You said Austin, right?
Right.
Where are you from? Did you hang out in Austin?
Girlfriend, I have a fiance that's from Texas.
Oh, really?
Everything's bigger in Texas.
Yes, it is, honey. And that's why my black ass is here, because them trees are huge in Texas, girl. No, really? And you were in Austin, and you went to the trailer park in Austin? See, the thing about Austin that's really bad for me is that, again, because that's the reason why it was, 300 and change, the food in Austin is fabulous. Ooh, girl, the Hyde Park Bar and Grill with the French fries that are They have I'm sorry, we're talking now between us. French fries that are dipped in a batter and then fried. And then see, you're laughing because you know that shit is good, right? You cannot be mad at anything fried and then you just dip and it's a big old huge thing. Have you had that, right?
Yes.
See, we're gonna talk food after the show, girl. I'm sorry, I don't want to talk about it now because, again, I'm in this process of losing and feeling very good about myself, but I could eat some of those French fries right now. I'm just wandering because I'm hungry. No, but this is the thing. It's been, like this whole week, it's been crazy. These last 2 weeks, have you seen all the stuff in the Middle East that's been going on in Egypt? And isn't that insane? They're just showing up in just masses in these big open spaces and stuff, and they're all there. And every time I see like the next outbreak or the next uprising, I have the same thought. There's a whole lot of people there, and I would almost gather there's not one stick of deodorant amongst them. I'm just saying. We have been in a New York City taxi cab. I'm not being rude, am I? I'm just saying. Look, next time you see what's going on when they're having these uprisings, I want you to take a good long look and just imagine. See? Makes you want to fight for that freedom, right? We should just send big giant planes full of shore, just drop little things of shore everywhere because you want to have, well, you know what I'm saying? Because if you're going to fight for your freedom, you need to feel fresh. I'm just looking at world events. That's what I do. I try to put my own spin on what's going on, Kind of like what y'all do, but I'm just saying, it's kind of crazy. It's funny though. It's like, I laugh because I always think that having lived in Texas as long as I have lived, I'm surprised that I'm not more damaged. But, well, and you think about it, gay, black, and fabulous, that is not cute for Texas. Come on. Am I wrong? And I felt fierce because I told you about the job that I had. I used to work at the strip club that used to be on 22nd Street, right? It was all about the freedom that you feel when you leave a place like Texas and you come to New York City that you just don't experience. This was 15 years ago. I walked into this place, right? Now, when I went to the interview, it was a little posting inside of the Village Voice that said, cashier, Harmony Theater, 3 o'clock appointment. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm an actor. I've worked in retail. This is a win-win, right? I walk into the place, this theater, not knowing that, because you're thinking kind of cute with the theater, you got your resume, your headshot, you're feeling fabulous, right? I walk into this place, it's a 3/4 thrust stage, there's dark lighting, red, and the smell of hot coochie box all over the room, right? I'm just saying, this is New York, 1995. This is where I was. But what was fierce was when I went to the interview, I walked in, and as soon as I walked in, I kept thinking, my God, we're not doing Shakespeare, right? Okay, think fast. Because at that time, I had no money left. I was almost out of cash. And you get desperate when you're in New York, and I'm like, I'm just gonna do it. And I figured they want me to be tough. So I walked into the interview, I'm like, hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. Yes, my name is Keith Price, that's my resume. And the woman looked at me and she goes, yeah, now, you actually are a very good candidate for what we want to do here. But I have to tell you something. Normally, I only like to hire gay men. And I looked at her and I went, oh, that's fabulous. Woo, girl, I didn't know how long I was going to keep that shit up, man. I'm kind of trying to keep that demeanor popping, And she's like, well, you're gay. I was like, yes, honey, I'm gay. She's like, and can you fight? I said, I grew up living in Texas. I'm black and I'm gay. If you don't learn how to fight, you need to learn how to run. And clearly, I'm not a marathoner, okay? Because, honey, I'll stomp the bitch down with some fucking all that jazz. I learned as a child, my mother had this wonderful friend who she used to tell us when she used to beat her grandchildren. I'm sorry. Are we that sensitive? We don't beat the children anymore? Is that why we're having problems on the subway? I'm just saying. But she used to say, America's public schools. She used to say to us then, she used to say that I used to beat my children and I would sing, precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on and let me stay. And I thought to myself, like, that's an interesting thing. Because she said, that kept her calm. That kept her from killing her children by singing to Jesus as she was beating them. Honesty. That's just honesty. That's what we did in the South. That's how they do it, right? You don't know how to act, you get a Jesus tune. And so for me, I tried to translate that into my bouncing when I worked at the strip club. Because not only was I the bouncer, I was the DJ, the house mother, the MC, and every now and then I would do a little choreography. But that's just me. I'm just saying, who's going to teach you how to shake your moneymaker better than a gay man with a bunch of horny men in the room? I'm just saying. Perspective, right? So, what was I talking about now? I completely forgot. I got all sidetracked. Talking about me bouncing now. And so I took Miss Ella Mae's, that was her name, Miss Ella Mae's, philosophy when I was bouncing, because what would you do is, instead of for me now singing Jesus songs, I just chose a show tune. And it's kind of fun when you're just beating somebody up and you just look at them and you just thinking of them, you're talking to them and you're like, you want to sit down? Are you going to sit down? You're not going to sit down? You want to fight me? Is that what you want to fight? I am what I am. And you just start kicking the shit out of them while you're singing the show tune. It's fantastic. I do recommend anything from Chicago, especially He Had It Coming, but I'm just saying. Know your show tunes when you're kicking ass. That's all I'm saying. You got to be in touch with yourself. But it's funny. It's like, it's been now, I've been living in New York for about 15 years now, which has been great. And the last kind of 4 have been very odd because, in an odd way, for me, because both of my parents passed away about 4 years ago. I know, it's really sad, right? I mean, like 6 weeks apart and everything. Of course, I'm exploiting it now for comedic value, so clearly I've gone through the therapy that you're supposed to do as a human being. But what's funny? It was like the job that I have, I get to talk to really fabulous people all the time. And last week, I got to actually talk to Joan Rivers. And believe it or not, up close and personal, the face isn't that bad. Come on, because the TV, that high definition does not make this look cute. I'm just saying. Giving you all of this. But she's really, really a wonderful woman. And it was funny because she had said to me, one of the things that you always remember whenever you're having a moment of tragedy is that if you can find a sliver of laughter in the middle of that moment that's really tragic to you, if you can find a sliver of laughter, you honestly will survive whatever the hell it is. And so here we are now, flashing back to that moment when she was sitting in the studio with us. We were here just this past week, and then 4 years ago, she said that to me, and literally 2 days later, my mother died, and it was really tragic and stuff like that. And so that week, I'm spending with my father, and it reminded me of the greatest story that my father ever told me. And this is a lesson for, who's single in the room? Where are the single boys? Single boys? Single ladies too, yeah? This is something that honestly, if you have do you have great relationships with your parents? That's always something I like to ask, yeah? Because this was the moment that defined my relationship to my father. My father came up to me now, we're like dealing with all the stress with my mom and everything. And he comes over to me and he says, Keith, I'm really, really gonna tell you, I'm not really happy about you being gay. I'm gonna just put it out there. Just tell you to your face, because I don't want you to think I'm talking about you. But I have to let you know that I love you no matter whatever happens to you. That's a really great thing. But all this talk now, I keep hearing about gay people talking about they're getting married, and you're going to get married, and you're going to have some man, you're going to bring a man over to me and talk about, that's my husband, daddy, this is my husband. Because you know how we get indignant when we finally get a partner, you're just like, this is my man! Don't be looking at me, that's my man, yes! See, I like to do that for you. You like that, huh? Because he's in the room now, I got to, that's my man over there, bitches! Yeah, we get indignant. And what's so funny was, he said to me, he goes, if you bring some man to me, and you bring him to me, and you let me look at him, and you tell me to my face, this is my husband, daddy, this is my husband, I want you to respect me because now I have a husband. He says, I'm going to tell you one thing. He better be rich. And I was like, oh my God, I'm daddy's little princess. He just wants me to marry well. Oh my God, thank you so much. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Talk to us, come on. I'll talk to you later. Right here. Oh my God, it's like me on Price is Right. Wait, where am I sitting? You all work together. Come on. Okay, very good. Wow, that was a lot. Well, hello.
Welcome.
I'm next to the girl with the collar.
Let's see, thank you.
I like y'all. Y'all are cute and all. but she's got the bling.
I know, right?
That's nice.
You're very funny.
Well, thank you.
Welcome to Qtalk.
Thank you. It's so nice to be here. Are you guys? Is everyone having fun, or is it just me?
I'm having a blast. But I have to say something though.
Talk to me.
When you talked about your grandmother beating down,
Uh-huh.
it's a black thing. My mother used to throw a brush that used to go around the corner and hit you. I am not lying.
Wait a minute though, I think it's also a southern thing because we used to get the switch.
Go
And
cut the switch.
remember when you had to go pick it out and take the stitches off it? And when my sister and I would fight, they would make us hold hands and switch each other.
That sounds kinky.
Yeah.
Actually,
That was a whole other thing.
I'm like speechless.
Exactly.
So
Next
you
week
grew up
on
in
Qtalk.
Texas,
I grew up in Texas.
and
yes,
I
did.
heard something that you said growing up in Texas is what made you funny.
Yeah, actually, it did. But Paul, you know, you can't be this way and live in Texas and try to take your life seriously. You just can't. It's, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, I think you can't live in Texas and try to take care of
and they keep voting for Rick Perry, but that's another story. Yes, I'm up on my politics. Just
We love that.
No, but I mean, the thing about Texas is that you have to understand, especially, and I know that this is going to be a really odd concept for some people in the room to take, and it's not meant to disenfranchise you in any way. Thank you. That's a good word, right?
Yeah. Very big word.
But no matter what people say, and I grew up in Galveston, and then I moved to Austin, and those are like probably the more groovier places to be in Texas. Outside of that, everything else is fucking scary, man. Like, you really have to think hard about your demeanor when you're there. And that's one of the things that for me was so freeing when I moved to New York. Because like I said, I walked into that place and that woman just looked at me and she's like worried about whether or not I can handle being gay.
Right.
Oh, really?
It's the easy part.
That shit is simple. What? Count your money?
What's your favorite of all your stand-up gigs? What was your favorite? It could be worst or best, but just your
Okay.
kind of favorite stand-up gig that you've done around the country.
My favorite stand-up gig? I did. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't say it was my favorite, but I should put it in the most memorable category.
There you go.
There was a club that used to be in New York called Ohm. I want to say it's like about maybe 2 blocks from here. I did a lot of my work around in this neighborhood, which is very refreshing. And so I was asked to do this. This friend of mine was a model who had just got in this GQ spread, and he was like having this big party, and he was like, "Keith, you should come and entertain. It'll be fabulous. My friends will just love you." Well, what he forgot to tell me was that this was a big old dance club, that there are lots of angry black people that once they start dancing, they don't like to stop to hear some queen talk about how funny his day was today, because they don't give a shit. And you know, and you should know that it's going to be a bad moment when the door guy is rude to you before you walk into the club, who says he got you on the list, but he's giving you attitude, and then you get inside the bar, the bartender's giving you shade. Then I go and I said, "Hi, I'm the comedian that they said," it's like, "We had a tech rehearsal this afternoon," and I was like, "Well, nobody told me about the tech rehearsal." "Well, if you want to play music and have music played, then you could." And I thought, okay, well, I'm a comedian and I'm strong and I can handle this. And then the next thing I know, the guy turns off. They're like, "You talk about black folks," and they're just dropping it. And then all of a sudden the music stopped. The guy opened the door, basically pushed me out with a microphone, and then left me on that floor alone. And I was like, "Oh my God. Oh my God."
And that was a black audience, wasn't it?
Yes, and they don't play that.
No.
And it's like they didn't even do a slow. You know, sometimes you get the slow fade, and you're just like, "What's happening to the music? The music changed." No. Da-da-da-da-da. "Hi, my name is Keith Price. Who's that crazy?" And I was like, yeah. And it's like when you have those moments, that you have to ask yourself, is it really worth it? And that's the thing. Like, I've read enough stories, I've met enough comedians where you know that everybody has a bad gig and you can't let that defeat you. But honey, there's nothing more cute than being in a room full of angry black people looking to dance and you trying to be funny. It's not a good combination. I don't know. Call me weird.
But I mean, you've come a long way from that, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you're hosting radio shows
I'm doing
and
radio shows.
Yeah.
I'm working on my own one-man show again. It's just, you know what it is that you just evolve. Like, you have to find a way to evolve. And it's funny because my boyfriend and I, we've been having this conversation lately about the things that you need to do next. I keep trying to, like, let him know that I'm paying attention sometimes. I'm in so much trouble. But you know, it's like trying to work on the next things. And I've been kind of reticent about getting my shit together to do that, but that's been the new thing now. And like, the radio moments where you just kind of have to be in the right place at the right time and have the right attitude too, because it was one of those places where it was just the fact that I walked into the room and I was who I am, but I was actually a nice person. Because the person that I work for now is the person who saw me and said, I think this guy's really funny. And it was almost 2 years after that before he actually called me back to say, you know, I remembered you and I wanted you to come in and audition. And I came in, I sat with him once, and that was all it took.
Yeah, it's just, you know, it just takes perseverance and stuff. Because I actually, another friend of mine, same thing. His actually took 15 years, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
And, you know,
So where can we see you next?
As a matter of fact, I'm working on doing something at Don't Tell Mamas. It's the second installment to the Ebony Chunky Love series. This one is called Hard-Ons and Heartaches. It's all about the journey of how it took me to get to the boyfriend that I have now. So there's that. I'm going to be doing that at Don't Tell Mamas hopefully later on in March or April. I can't remember what dates we have. And then I have a screening coming up at the Center.
And a website?
KeithPriceComedy.com.
Okay. Well, we love you.
We
I'm so
love
glad you're
you.
here. I'm so glad. Keith Price, everybody.
Keith Price! And watch out for that breath.
Q talks for you. Let us talk.